The cold metallic corridors of the abandoned research station hummed with an eerie silence. Emergency lights flickered weakly, casting long shadows across the empty hallways. Arin Koval huddled in a small maintenance alcove, her breathing shallow and controlled. She had been alone for days, maybe weeks. Time blended together in this silent tomb of metal and forgotten technology. Outside the station's protective hull, space stretched endlessly, dark and unforgiving. Arin's fingers trembled as she clutched a small data crystal, the last remaining evidence of her species' critical research. When the evacuation alarms blared days ago, her entire research team had abandoned the station, leaving her behind in the chaos. At that precise moment, the station's external sensors detected an approaching vessel. Smooth and tactical, its design was unmistakably human military. Sharp edges, reinforced hull, weapons systems subtly integrated into its frame. Inside this vessel, Sergeant J. Park reviewed his mission parameters with mechanical precision. Sigma-7 station. Unusual energy. Signatures. Potential classified research recovery, he muttered, reviewing the holographic mission brief. His combat suit hummed with integrated technology, each movement calculated and purposeful. The docking procedure was smooth, magnetic locks connected, and pressurization systems engaged. Jay moved with practiced silence, his weapon systems active, scanning each corridor for potential threats. His helmet's advanced sensor array picked up minimal life signs, something most soldiers would ignore. But Jay was different. His previous missions had taught him that minimal didn't mean non-existent. In her hiding spot, Arin heard the methodical footsteps, metal against metal, each step precise, calculating. Her heart raced. Humans were not known for their mercy, especially towards unknown alien species. Her people's diplomatic history with humans was complicated at best. Jay's thermal imaging caught a heat signature, small, organic, hiding. "Identify yourself," he commanded, his voice firm but not aggressive. Silence. He moved closer, weapon still raised but not directly pointed. Professional. Cautious. Arin knew she had two choices: remain hidden and potentially be discovered forcefully, or reveal herself voluntarily. Her scientific training kicked in. Calculated risk assessment suggested cooperation. Slowly she emerged from her hiding spot. Her pale skin contrasted against the dark metallic walls. Her eyes, large, intelligent, filled with a mixture of fear and curiosity, met Jay's helmet-covered face. "I am Arin Koval, research specialist," she said, her voice steady despite her internal trembling. Jay's helmet display ran rapid biological scans. Unknown species. No immediate threat detected. Unusual genetic markers suggested advanced evolutionary adaptations. "Why are you alone on this station?" he asked. Her story unfolded quickly. A research mission studying quantum molecular interactions. A sudden evacuation during an unknown conflict. Her team's abrupt departure. The critical research data she managed to preserve. Jay recognized something in her narrative. Desperation mixed with scientific integrity. He had seen similar determination in human researchers during extreme scenarios. "The station's life support is failing," he observed, checking his secondary systems. "You would have died within 72 hours. Arin didn't respond. Survival was not guaranteed, but her research was more important than her individual existence. Something about her resilience intrigued Jay. In his years of military service, he had encountered numerous alien species, but few displayed such calm under potential extinction scenarios. The station groaned around them, a dying mechanical beast sensing its imminent collapse. External damage from unknown combat events had weakened its structural integrity. "We need to leave," Jay stated. "Not a suggestion, a command." Arin nodded, clutching her data crystal. Her entire scientific legacy compressed into a small technological artifact. As they prepared for emergency evacuation, neither knew this moment would mark the beginning of an extraordinary journey. A human soldier, an alien researcher. Unexpected. Allies in a universe filled with complex, unpredictable challenges. The station's systems began shutting down. Darkness approached. Their first test of survival had just begun. The small emergency shuttle moved silently through the vast darkness of space. Jay's hands worked quickly over the control panels, adjusting navigation systems and checking fuel reserves. Arin sat nearby, her body tense, watching every movement with intense curiosity. Their first hours together were filled with cautious silence. Jay knew nothing about Arin's species, and she understood even less about human protocols. The shuttle's compact living space became a strange arena of unspoken tension. Suddenly, warning lights flashed across the control panel. Multiple unknown signals approached from different directions. Jay's military training kicked in instantly. His hands moved with lightning speed, rerouting power, activating defensive shields. "We're being tracked," he muttered, more to himself than to Arin. Arin leaned forward, her advanced visual sensors picking up details humans might miss. "Those are not standard tracking signals," she said, pointing to a specific frequency pattern on the display. Jay looked closer. She was right. These were not typical pursuit signals. They were something more complex, more organized. The first attack came without warning. A pulse of energy struck the shuttle's outer shield, causing violent vibrations throughout the small craft. Arin was thrown sideways, her body struggling to maintain balance in the unexpected assault. "Krell military signature," Jay spoke rapidly, switching between defense systems. "They're hunting something or someone." Arin's face changed, fear mixed with a deeper understanding. "They want the research data," she whispered. The next few moments became a dance of survival. Jay's piloting skills were pushed to their absolute limit. He weaved the small shuttle through asteroid fields, used stellar radiation as temporary cover, and constantly redirected energy to keep their shields operational. Arin wasn't just a passive passenger. Her scientific background proved unexpectedly useful. She calculated potential escape routes, analyzed the pursuing ship's movement patterns, and suggested unconventional navigation strategies that defied standard military training. "Here," she pointed suddenly, "this gravitational anomaly. We can use its energy signature to mask our movement." Jay didn't question her. Years of military experience had taught him to recognize genuine expertise, regardless of its source. The shuttle dove close to the gravitational anomaly, a massive, swirling energy field that most pilots would avoid. But Arin's calculations were precise. They slipped through the anomaly's outer layers, using its intense radiation to scramble their pursuers' tracking systems. For several intense minutes, complete silence filled the shuttle. No signals, no pursuers, just the soft hum of emergency. "Systems. They'll return," Jay said, not as a threat but as a simple observation. Arin nodded. Her hands moved across a small device, transferring critical research data into a more secure storage unit. "My people's entire understanding of quantum molecular interactions is in this data," she explained. Jay understood preservation. Military training taught him that information could be more valuable than physical resources. Their first real conversation happened during a system repair. Arin's nimble fingers worked alongside Jay's, fixing damaged communication arrays. No words were needed, just a mutual understanding of survival. As emergency lights continued to flicker, they realized something important. They were now a team. Not by choice, but by necessity. The universe around them remained vast and dangerous. Unknown enemies pursued them. Their chances of survival were minimal. But in this small shuttle, a human soldier and an alien researcher had found an unexpected alliance. Jay checked their fuel reserves, limited. Their navigation systems showed multiple potential safe zones, but each came with significant risks. "We need a plan," he said. Arin looked at him, her large eyes reflecting both fear and determination. "We will survive," she responded simply. Outside the shuttle's small windows, stars continued their silent, endless dance, watching, waiting. The real journey was just beginning. The small trading outpost on the edge of the Crimson Nebula looked like nothing more than a rusted collection of metal platforms and worn-out communication towers. To Jay and Arin, it represented their first real chance of survival. Their shuttle approached carefully, using minimal energy signatures to avoid detection. Jay's hands moved quickly over the navigation controls, while Arin ran continuous scans of the surrounding space. We have less than 6 hours of power remaining, Aaron calculated, her fingers dancing across the technical displays. Jay nodded. Their escape from the Krell pursuit had cost them most of their resources. This outpost was their last hope for repair and resupply. The docking was rough. Metal scraped against metal as they connected to an emergency airlock. Jay checked his weapon, a standard-issue pulse rifle that could adapt to multiple environmental conditions. Aaron carried nothing visible, but her scientific equipment was carefully hidden within her lightweight suit. The outpost was a maze of narrow corridors and dimly lit maintenance passages. Strange alien languages echoed from distant trading halls. Jay moved with military precision, each step calculated, eyes constantly scanning for potential threats. Aaron followed close behind, her scientific mind analyzing every technical detail. She noticed subtle energy fluctuations that most would miss, signs of recent conflict, hidden communication channels, potential escape routes. Their first challenge came quickly. A group of mercenary traders blocked their path, suspicious of the unusual pair. Identification, a large reptilian trader demanded, his multiple eyes studying them intensely. Jay's hand moved slightly closer to his weapon. Aaron understood the potential for violence and stepped forward. "We require emergency repairs," she said, her voice calm and precise. "We can offer technical services in exchange." The traders exchanged looks. Technical expertise was always valuable. In these remote regions of space, a deal was struck quickly, repairs for services. But both Jay and Aaron knew the true cost would be much higher. While Jay worked on repairing the outpost's damaged communication systems, Aaron discovered something unexpected. Hidden within the outpost's technical archives was partial information about the Krell's larger military operations. "They're hunting more than just me," she told Jay during a quiet moment. "They're targeting multiple research stations across 3 star systems." Jay understood the implications immediately. This was no simple pursuit. This was a systematic elimination of scientific research that could threaten the Krell's expansion plans. Their temporary alliance was becoming something more. Not just survival, but a potential mission. The outpost's repair bay became their temporary home. Jay fixed damaged power systems, while Aaron recalibrated complex communication networks. Their skills complemented each other in ways neither had expected, but danger was never far away. Midway through their repairs, long-range sensors detected Krell tracking signals approaching the outpost. "We have minimal time," Jay announced, his voice cutting through the technical noise. Aaron's response was immediate. She had already prepared an escape route, using the outpost's complex technical infrastructure to create multiple false tracking signals. Their escape was a blur of quick movements and calculated risks. Jay's combat training merged with Aaron's scientific strategy. They moved like a single unit, understanding each other without words. The stolen shuttle lifted off just moments before the Krell ships entered the outpost's scanning range. Their success was more than just survival. It was a statement. As they broke free from the outpost's gravitational field, Aaron looked at Jay. Something had changed between them. No longer just strangers forced together by circumstance, but something closer to partners. "Where do we go now?" she asked. Jay's response was simple and determined. "Wherever we can stop the Krell." The stars outside seemed to respond to their commitment, endless and full of possibilities. Their journey was far from over. The abandoned research station drifted silently between 2 binary star systems. Jay and Aaron approached carefully, their stolen shuttle moving with calculated precision. Aaron's fingers worked across the technical scanners, analyzing every possible signal. "No active defense systems," she reported, "but something feels unusual." Jay understood her intuition. In his years of military service, he had learned to trust unexpected feelings. "Prepare the scanning equipment," he instructed. Their entry into the station was smooth. Artificial gravity functioned at minimal levels. Scattered research documents floated like ghosts through empty corridors. Each room told a story of sudden abandonment. "These are research files from multiple alien species," Aaron whispered, examining scattered digital records. Her scientific mind processed information faster than most biological systems could comprehend. Jay watched her work, impressed by her ability to extract complex information from seemingly random data streams. She wasn't just reading files, she was reconstructing entire research narratives. Suddenly her hand stopped. One particular file caught her attention. Complex molecular diagrams, genetic modification sequences, planetary terraforming protocols. "This isn't just research," she said, her voice changing. "This is a systematic plan for genetic manipulation across multiple planetary systems." Jay moved closer, studying the information. The conspiracy was bigger than they had imagined. The Krell weren't just eliminating research stations. They were planning large-scale biological control. The station's central database revealed shocking details. Multiple alien civilizations had been targeted, their research centers destroyed, critical scientific knowledge erased. "They're creating a genetic roadmap," Aaron explained, "eliminating any species that could potentially develop technology to resist their expansion." Her fingers moved quickly, creating encrypted data backups. Every piece of information was critical. Their discovery required immediate action, but communication would be dangerous. The Krell's tracking systems were sophisticated and widespread. "We need a secure transmission channel," Jay said, checking their limited communication equipment. Aaron's solution was unexpected. Using fragments of advanced scientific equipment, she constructed a unique communication device. It would transmit information using quantum entanglement, virtually undetectable by standard tracking systems. Their first transmission went to a neutral research coalition, encrypted, compact, containing only the most critical information about the Krell's systematic elimination of scientific research centers. But their actions didn't go unnoticed. Tracking signals appeared suddenly. The Krell had found them. "We have approximately 17 minutes before they arrive," Aaron calculated, her eyes scanning multiple technical displays. Jay's military training kicked in. "Prepare for immediate evacuation," he commanded. Their escape was a dangerous dance. Jay piloted the shuttle with surgical precision, using stellar radiation and gravitational fields as natural shields. Aaron continued transmitting critical research, data, ensuring their discoveries would survive even if they didn't. The first Krell attack came quickly, a pulse of energy that shook their small shuttle. Jay redirected power, creating multiple false energy signatures to confuse their pursuers. "They want the research data more than they want us," Aaron observed, her hands moving across emergency communication systems. Their partnership had transformed. No longer just survivors, they were now active resistance fighters. Each maneuver, each transmission was a small battle against a larger systematic oppression. As their shuttle disappeared into a complex stellar cluster, both understood something profound. Their mission was bigger than individual survival. They were protecting knowledge itself. The universe watched silently. Stars continued their endless dance, and two unlikely allies continued their dangerous journey. Their story was just beginning. The massive Krell battleship filled the view screen, its metal hull gleaming like a dark predator waiting to strike. Jay and Aaron's small shuttle looked like an insignificant insect compared to the enormous warship. "They've found us," Aaron said, her voice calm despite the imminent danger. Jay's hands moved across the control panel, preparing their last line of defense. Years of military training had prepared him for impossible situations, but this felt different. This was more than just a battle. This was their final chance to protect critical scientific knowledge. The first attack came without warning. Massive energy pulses struck their shuttle's shields, causing violent tremors throughout the small craft. Aaron's scientific equipment danced across the panels, creating complex defensive algorithms faster than standard computer systems could process. "Redirecting power to quantum dispersal shields," she announced, her fingers moving with lightning speed. Jay understood her strategy. By using her advanced scientific knowledge, they could create temporary defense mechanisms that the Krell wouldn't expect. Their shuttle dove between massive asteroid fields, using natural space debris as temporary cover. The Krell battleship pursued relentlessly, its massive weapons systems charging for a final assault. Aaron's research data, the very thing the Krell wanted to destroy, became their most powerful weapon. She had discovered a critical weakness in the Krell's genetic modification protocols. A single transmission, could potentially disable their entire military communication network. "We have one chance," she told Jay, showing him the complex mathematical sequence that could break the Krell's systematic control. Jay's response was simple: "Do it." The transmission went out, a perfect blend of scientific precision and strategic timing. For a moment, nothing happened. Then suddenly, the massive Krell battleship began to lose power. Communication systems failed. Weapon platforms went dark. The entire ship became a massive, floating piece of dead technology. But the Krell weren't finished. Secondary attack systems activated. Smaller fighter ships launched from the main battleship, creating a swarm of deadly technology. "Prepare for direct confrontation," Jay said, switching their small shuttle systems to full combat mode. Arin's scientific equipment began generating complex energy patterns. Each pulse was designed to disrupt the incoming fighter ship's navigation systems. The space around them transformed into a dance of light and energy. Jay's piloting skills matched perfectly with Arin's technical calculations. They moved as a single unit, anticipating each other's actions without words. Fighter after fighter fell, some destroyed by direct weapon hits, others simply losing power due to Arin's sophisticated transmission signals. But the battle was taking its toll. Their shuttle systems were failing. Emergency warnings flashed across multiple panels. "We're losing power," Jay announced, his voice steady. Arin's response was immediate. She redirected power from non-essential systems, creating one final massive energy pulse. The result was unexpected. The remaining Krell ships simply stopped, their systems completely disabled by a transmission that targeted their most fundamental communication protocols. Silence filled the space around them. Jay looked at Arin. She looked back. No words were needed. They had done something extraordinary. Their small shuttle drifted among the disabled Krell ships. The research data they had protected would now be shared with multiple scientific coalitions across different star systems. "We did it," Arin said simply. Jay allowed himself a small smile. "We did." In the vast darkness of space, their small victory represented something much larger. A statement against systematic oppression, a defense of scientific knowledge. The stars continued their silent watch. Another chapter in the universe's endless story had been written. Their journey was complete, but their story was just beginning.